Multi-vector integration is Kazakhstan's chosen course of development. In the program, Single Market. Order, responsibility, and patience, qualities which are missing in today's integration processes and business projects, which are considered to come naturally to women. The arrival of spring and nearing celebration of the International Women's Day are a good pretext for taking a look at the role of women through the lens of our program. Hello, my name is Pavel Koktishev, and you are watching Single Market. In today's program, women at the helm of large companies, political correctness or the demands of the times, business portrait part of a stone interior, roses for exports, a report from Armenia. Within the framework of this story, which opens up our today's program, we are announcing the following theme: women in business management. For background information, we'll turn to European practice. In Norway, France, and Spain, a system of quotas is being implemented on a legislative level, which dictates the share of women that should be part of top management positions in large companies. By the way, this practice will be implemented in Germany this year. Women in corporate governance. Is this homage to gender equality or a well-justified recommendation? Our correspondent, Nina Kumambetova, will continue the story.
Прежде чем ответить на вопрос о трендах в гендерной...
Before answering the question about the current trends on gender legislation, a small overview of statistics. The share of women on the boards of directors of the world's largest 200 enterprises is 11.2%. By the way, this figure varies from 1.2% in Japan to 12.2% in the Netherlands. In the case of Kazakhstan, here the statistics on the share of women in top management positions at large companies in comparison with the global average are more ambiguous. Our country is still passing through a stage of its development. The majority of large companies operate in the sector of raw materials. Our country is still passing through a stage of its development, and the majority of large companies operate in the sector of raw materials, which has traditionally exhibited a lower level of presence of women on the boards of directors. That is why it would be more relevant to look at the share of women in business managerial positions in general. In Kazakhstan, this figure stands at 15%. For a country in Central Asia, this is a pretty good indicator.
У нас есть возможность получать очень хорошее образование. У нас есть возможность...
There is the opportunity to receive good quality education, to get jobs in companies on a quite fair and competitive basis.
Конкурентной основе.
A series of studies have shown that there is a correlation between the effective work on the boards of directors which boast the presence of women and the success of a company in general.
Примечательно, что подобные мониторинги проводились в разных сферах.
It is worth mentioning that these studies were conducted in various sectors of the economy with different potential employers. Among them, there are the market giants such as McKinsey Consulting Company, the Swiss investment fund, Nascens Capital, and the Norwegian oil company, DNO International.
Исследования вполне объективны.
Наличие смешанных команд является более эффективным.
Mixed teams are more effective than teams with a single-minded type of group thinking. And it is precisely the presence of women in these teams which allows to minimize the risk of herd behavior and thereby raise the level of collective responsibility.
Уровень коллективной ответственности.
According to experts, in the case of Kazakhstan, the answer to the question on the need for regulation of the labor market and the work of women in the business sphere lies somewhere in the middle. Women make up 52% of the country's population, and among the economically active population, their share is 49%, primarily in the small and medium business sector. That is why, considering the current realities, introduction of obligatory quotas for women in management positions for now is seen as a hasty measure.
We
should not get ahead of ourselves because in practice we are observing a presence of women in managerial positions. In these circumstances, it would be more appropriate to create a system of mentorship among women within the framework of which women, who have a lot of experience in company management, would mentor the younger generation.
Today, banking financial services.
According to the experts of the International Financial Organization, which is part of the World Bank, this practice would attract the attention of the society in general and other interested parties, potential investors, shareholders, and in general, men who will see that there is no longer anything surprising about a woman at the helm of a large company. Nina Kumambetova, Anatoly Valyuski, exclusively for Single Market.
Камень. Первые определения, которые приходят на ум.
Stone. The first adjective that comes to mind are hard, heavy, and grainy, words that are not usually associated with women. That is why, for me personally, it was interesting to meet a woman, the head of an enterprise, who specializes in the refinement of ornamental trim stone and in the making of products out of this material. Special qualities are required for getting ahead and becoming a leader. And in the case of the business sector, which is usually associated with brutality, it is quite unusual to imagine a young woman in the position of a director. However, the heroine of our today's story is handling this role with great expertise and great satisfaction. But first things first. This is Kimbat Arslan, the executive director of the Astana-based company Stone Decor. Her name is well known in the sphere of production of goods that are made out of natural stone. Kimbat is also known among her partners from Italy, Spain, Turkey, Finland, and China, which supply materials such as onyx, granite, marble, and travertine to Astana from some of the world's best quarries.
Мы стали 13-м дистрибьютором лидера мировой отрасли, компания Антонини Luigi.
We became the 13th distributor company of the world leader in this sphere, Antonini Luigi. This is an Italian company. We were chosen out of a list of companies in the CIS which are engaged in this sphere. They liked our company philosophy, our technical equipment, and our human resources.
Техническое оснащение, наш человеческий ресурс.
When Kimbat is asked about what served as motivation for the establishment of this company, she always goes back to the beginning of the 2000s, when Kazakhstan's capital city got a second breath in its revival.
Шел строительный бум, необходимо было строить.
There was a construction boom. Buildings had to be built in accordance with international standards, appearance of which would be worthy of a capital city. In order to give Astana an architectural appearance of confidence, presentability, and prestige, the use of natural stone in the interior design of the city became more frequent. This is a material which symbolizes simultaneously infinity and aspiration towards perfection.
Камень такой материал, который имеет очень, можно сказать, самую одну из самых.
Stone is a type of material which has one of the longest histories. That is why one needs time in order to come up with new ideas.
Какие-то новые, чтобы идеи были.
Precisely these properties of this material, with the aid of which the appearance of the capital city was transformed, are what motivated Kimbat and those working with her to keep up with the times and to always continue the search for innovative approaches.
Новые технологии, новое оборудование.
New technologies, new equipment, all this has to be purchased. The skills of our masters, managers, architects, designers have to be perfected. Because these are the times when if you don't use this approach, then you will simply stop developing and will no longer be interesting for your clients. Aside from clients, there is also a circle of people before whom Kimbat feels a certain sense of responsibility. This is her professional collective. This becomes clear when Kimbat speaks about her mission as a company manager and a citizen.
Миссия моя, да, как вот гражданки, так скажем, да, нашей страны, да, это все-таки вот возродить культуру ремесленничества. Ну, 90% это мужчины вообще в нашей компании, да, работают. Это кормильцы своих семей, да, то есть в каждой семье.
My mission as a citizen of this country is to revive the culture of artisanship. 90% of the personnel of our company are men. They're the breadwinners of their families, each raising 2 to 3 children. And by working with us, they have become artisans and developed their skills, so they will always be able to sustain themselves. And artisanship is a trade which can be passed on from generation to generation. They will be able to teach their brothers and sons, and this is great.
То есть они могут этому обучить своих там братьев, своих сыновей, и это классно.
These examples show that Kazakhstan's women rightfully occupy their place in the sphere of business and the economy without gender-based barriers. One simply has to love what they are doing and believe in oneself, one's country, and its future. Oleg Boldarev, Askar Aitkenov, Didar Isayev, exclusively for Single Market.
И в завершение выпуска праздничный аккорд.
And we close off this program on a festive note. The main attribute of any celebration, including the 8th of March, are flowers. This gives us a great reason to take a look at the flowers as an export product. Our correspondent in Armenia, Elena Kazaryan, brings us the report. Throughout the ages, flowers have always been and continue to be a wonderful gift or a sign of attention, endowing the everyday life with beauty and joy. And that is why the demand for flower products, especially around festive days, will always be there, despite financial difficulties and the overall economic crisis. Armenia has a lot of greenhouses in which these precious products are cultivated. The large greenhouse production in the country, as well as the entire Transcaucasian region, is located in Armenia's mountain valleys, in the Golgut village. Here on the territory of 19 hectares, only Dutch roses are cultivated, but there is a great variety of them, 32 to be precise, including the premium sort. Initially, the plan was to cultivate tomatoes here, and the name of the company clearly expresses this, Eco Tomato. But Dutch consultants, after having conducted the evaluation of solar activity on the territory of the future greenhouses and convinced its owners that the local climate is a true paradise for the cultivation of roses, provided that technological requirements are complied with. By the way, the leading technologist Martin Peterson sold his flower business in the Netherlands a couple of years ago and moved here to the Goat village. In order to be able to communicate with his colleagues, he even learned Armenian.
Here we have the computer. With the computer we can check what is happening in the greenhouse. We also can arrange everything in the greenhouse. We can arrange the climate. When it's too warm, we can open the windows. When it's too hot, we can close it, or we can even heat up the greenhouse.
Every detail is important in greenhouse flower production, especially when it comes to the protection of the plants.
Այստեղ տեսնում ենք էնտոմոֆակ, այսինքն օգտակար միջատները, որոնց միջոցով պայքարում.
We use insects, ethnophages, to tackle pests. Only biological methods are employed, no chemicals. We import these small packages which have small holes through which insects pass. But we will not see them right now. They're of microscopic size and develop under specific temperature. They try to cut down the elite sorts just when they start blooming, before the dew dries on the leaves and before the flower bud unfolds. All the cut roses are separated according to sort and size the same day and are packaged in sets of 20s according to the European standard. All of this is done with utmost care and caution. The flower feels the mood of people and their touch. It requires a careful approach. When packaging the roses, I barely touch them. I really love flowers, all kinds of flowers. On my own land plot, a big territory is allocated to them. But a rose is, of course, a special flower. It is the queen of flowers. The flowers of the premium class, which are cultivated in these greenhouses in terms of quality, exceed the best sorts from the gardens in the Netherlands. The flower buds of these roses reach 6.5 centimeters, and the Dutch rose is 5 centimeters. These flowers are more than 1 meter in height. Of course, these roses are very competitive on foreign markets. That is why 80% of the grown flowers are destined for export. The main destination is Russia. Flowers are sent by plane and vehicle transportation to cities such as Moscow, Krasnodar, Voronezh, Nizhny Novgorod, Yekaterinburg, Volgograd, and Samara. In addition, stable export channels have been established with Georgia and Belarus. Today, plans on establishing connections with a new destination are being elaborated, Kazakhstan. The first order of roses have already been successfully delivered to the flower shops of Almaty. Our roses have earned great fame within the territory of the Eurasian Economic Union. We are receiving calls from various places in the world with offers to cooperate. They want specifically the roses from Armenia. The country's banking sector is actively providing loans to the local greenhouse productions, taking into account that this sphere has a high potential. The government is also supporting the flower business, providing the companies with a 3-year grace period for the payment of the value-added tax. They say that every minute of the working day, 20,000 roses are pruned in the Netherlands. Armenia has a long way to go before reaching such production levels. However, the export volumes of flowers in the last 2 years have rapidly increased. According to the data of Armenia's National Statistical Service, annual exports of flowers and decorative plants exceeded 300 tons, and in monetary value reached around $2 million. This is far from being the limit. Elena Kazaryan, Tigran Galstyan, and Gurgen Vardanyan, exclusively for single market from Armenia.
На сегодня это все. С вами был...
That's all for today. My name is Pavel Kokdyshev. Kind reminder, all the episodes of our program are available on www.kazakh-tv.kz. Until next time on Single Market, a territory without borders.